right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris. Great to be speaking to you again. I could not wait to jump on the mics tonight. You know what? Again, I've said it before, but about this time, I'm getting quite fatigued. We're getting to the poems and everything. We'll be doing the romantic dates and stuff soon, I bet. So I'm like, I'm bored of this now. You know what, Chris? I'm not bored of this one at all. This is getting better and better. And all of the drama. And I think... I actually, genuinely, hand on heart, I don't want this one to end. So, where do you want to start tonight?
Well, I'll be honest with you, Dave. I want to start with I was fuming, and I kept thinking, have I missed something here with the show? Is the whole fallout for Teddy picking Millie and Dom and Eden just going all in on Jackson and even Shelby? And I'm thinking, what have I missed here? Because I don't remember this conversation, what he said about it. He may have done. It may just be me completely forgetting we watched that much of it. But I thought Eden and Dom were absolutely disgusting tonight. And Eden, for me, I'd said yesterday, I think, Eden and Erin are the favourites. Fuck them two, Dave. I'm off the train. I just thought, and I don't want to use the B word, but it was very close to that tonight, what Dom and Eden did, because I felt really sorry for Jackson, and he ended up just apologising consistently. And I was like, you pair of pricks. I mean, I don't know whether I've gone a bit too hard on the paint there, Dave, but I was not happy tonight.
I think, honestly, you've just reflected how I feel. I'd said, God, I've been on the fucking... doing the 180s on Eden this season. I started off, thought he was going to be cheating left, right, and centre. Was wrong about that, and then I gave him a lot of credit because he's kind of that manly man. So if he's got a problem with you, he'll tell it to your face. But I thought he was a prize fucking prick tonight, Chris. I mean, so it was a whole fallout. You've got these two gangs, haven't you? Now, with the lads, you've got Eden and Dom. Clearly, again, they're the manly men, probably play a bit of Aussie rules football or something, proper boys club kind of thing. And you've got Josh in there as well. That's in the red corner. In the blue corner, you've got Grant, Teddy, and Jackson as well. And it's very clear you've got these two cliques now with the boys. But, and Eden probably had this misplaced sense of loyalty to Dom. Dom's done fuck all to get kept in by fucking anyone, Chris. He's just been a boring twat since he's been in there. He looks fucking the business, but he's got no chat at all. And quite why he's still there, I don't know. But clearly, Eden's like trying to stick up for him, and then starts fucking laying into Jax. And something Jax had said yesterday, apparently, which again, I don't remember that conversation either. But the reality is, right? Who goes on a first date and then that's it? It's like fireworks, and you've got no doubts at all. It's like, you know what? I've met the one. So if you have conversations with other people, you're like, well, we're this early on, I'm not really sure, are we completely connecting? Not sure. For me, it's a perfectly natural thing to have those conversations. But as you spend more time with that person and you start to create that better connection, then your feelings grow. And so to call out something that he'd said previously, I thought was manipulative, but B, it's none of his fucking business. And he did it just to be a nasty bastard, Chris.
Yeah, he did, Dave. He really did. He was just being awkward, horrible to Jackson, and I felt really, really sorry for him. I felt Jackson was absolutely distraught. I'm not saying if he said it, then fair enough. But why did they feel the need to go and tell her? And Dom's line when they were all stood around the pool, him, Josh, and Eden, when he went, "Well, it's like your little sister, innit, mate? She's been in there 2 fucking days. Don't justify it. You're just being a shit stirrer. You're absolutely just causing shit." And I just thought it
Yeah.
was wrong.
But so this was all the point of contention seems to be that they were saying that Jackson knew, but he was acting surprised. When Teddy picked Millie. So rather than getting upset with Teddy, all of the frustration and venom seemed to be pointing Jackson's way, and I just didn't get it at all. And like you say, it felt like bullying to me because when they were fucking going off on one, they weren't being quiet. They were fucking clearly by the body movements, they were agitated. You could see Jackson in the background looking at them. He knew they were fucking talking about him. And like you say, it just wasn't nice to watch at all. And I just don't get it. And Dom was like saying to Jackson, "You're fake as fuck." And it seems like this whole label now, and they basically just tried to sabotage anything that Jackson and Shelby had together because Shelby's just been told this stuff. She's only been in there a couple of days. So, she's gone over to confront Jackson. I think probably anyone should do that in that scenario. It wasn't as if just one person, Littlefinger or something, comes over and just has a quick word and just, so you'd be a little bit in doubt. Three of the blokes are telling you the same story. So you've got to think you would assume that that is the truth. And so she's gone over to confront Jackson about it, and he's just on the defensive, and he's trying to, um, apologize for it. And actually, I thought that was done and dusted then, but she did seem to accept his apology in the end.
Yeah, she did, but I think she was left in a situation where if she was going to accept the apology, they seemed to want her to sort of just bin Jackson off completely. And I
Yeah,
think that's when Eden was made me laugh, going, "Well, it's none of my business." But well, you made it your business. You fucking ruined their relationship, and now he's not happy because Shelby's then going back with Jackson. I didn't get that at all. Even Shelby's response to Jackson, for me, Dave, Jackson's a top guy. And I just thought he got absolutely rinsed there for no reason. For if he did say it, she can confront him. But the way they did it was just pure shithousery. Because can you imagine if someone else said to some of the stuff Eden said, and even Dom, and they'd done that to them and confronted him, it had fucking kicked off to fuck, wouldn't it?
yeah.
So it's like you can't do stuff like that.
You know what, Chris? Again, I think I've given Eden too much credit in the past. When him and Grant had that scrap, right? I said, with blokes, quite often, they'll have a bit of a scrap, get it out of the system, but then that's it, it's done. I don't think it is done between Eden and Grant, because you never see them just chatting now, do you? It's like it's like you've got these two team captains on, like I say, in the red corner you've got Eden, and then in the blue corner you got Grant, and they both got their little entourages. Because Grant basically, when Jackson was telling Grant what had happened, he basically said, "Look, Eden's just stabbed you in the back there, and so be careful with whatever you say to them." And I don't think I can't recall, Chris, if I've seen this happen in Love Island before, where you've got three on one side, three on the other. You see these little cliques develop, but not when it's so pronounced, and certainly not so much. I've not seen it with the boys.
I was going to say that it's usually, and that's no disrespect to the ladies, but like we saw it last year, didn't we? With like Amber and Anna and stuff, and then you had a split with the other girls, didn't you? All the way through. So yeah, I've never seen it before. I don't think I've seen it in previous seasons other than this one. However, I think you're right, Dave. I still think there's needle there between Eden and Grant. I just think it's they're getting on because they have to. And did you buy all that at the end about the girlfriend shit? I mean, everyone
But
gets
just
involved, but
yeah,
fucking
so
hell, it's
so
fucking
just
shit.
yeah. Just because, just before we get onto the whole girlfriend thing, I will say again, in this last week and a half, I've really come around on Millie. I think everything she says, she just seems to talk sense, Chris. She sort of, she's involved in the drama sometimes, but she sort of says what she's the point of view character almost. And so, she was having a word with Shelby and basically saying, not not necessarily saying, well, Eden did this because he was pissed off. She wasn't doing that straight away. She was asking the question. She was saying, well, why do you think Eden would have said that? Which is true, isn't it? He,
Yeah,
and it was true that he just did it because he was pissed off and angry. And you know what, Chris? He's clearly that sort of bloke that he blows up, and then he'll apologise for it after, and then he thinks that's it. It's completely done and dusted. Because I've apologized, because I've decided on my terms, I'm going to apologize. You're going to accept it, and we're going to move on. And I just, yeah, I'm off that train now as well. I mean, I think Eden and Erin will probably go to the final, but I don't know. It's happened too much now, and he's just come across a bit nasty. And the fact that before this whole girlfriend ceremony, you know, it's just fucking nonsense, isn't it? It's like set up as if it was a proposal, but he'd apologise to Jackson. But I think he only did it so Jackson would be, he knows Jackson's going to accept it, and he'll be part of the whole fucking setup for the, asking Erin to be his girlfriend thing. So by the time it got to that, I'm never usually bought into this "will you be my girlfriend" thing, but particularly with that, I couldn't move on from what had happened earlier in the episode. So despite being a little bit cynical with it all anyway, when this was all going on, I'm just like, oh, fuck off. I don't care about your couple anymore. I couldn't give a toss if you do that. Where you go, I'm done with you.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm with you on that. And it's interesting, isn't it, how our opinions change as the series goes on. I just think they've been a pair, just dicks. And if anything, with Eden, it's like he is probably one of the elder statesmen in there. He comes across like that. He's got a responsible job and he's a prison ward and all that. You're thinking, I know you got to deal with confrontational people every day, day in, day out, but you don't have to replicate that on other people who are just. I mean, he's so passive, Jackson. It was like a little kid being told his face is a picture we were laughing about yesterday. It's like he was in detention or something when he was getting a ball off Shelby. But
Yeah.
I'm not convinced by Shelby, to be honest, Dave. I'm really not.
Uh, I don't know. I've not seen enough of her yet to make a judgment. She seems normal enough to me. Um, she she did proper lay into Jackson, but then forgave him pretty quickly. But then I think Jackson sort of misfired a bit or overshot it a bit, didn't he? He's like, "You're the apple to my eye" or something.
Oh my
And I did
god,
like the
yeah.
fact she called him out. It's like, steady on, don't. I think that was a little bit too much going over the top. But I don't know. I haven't. What have you seen from Shelby that makes you not convinced by her?
I don't know. It just the way she came across tonight was just a bit uncomfortable for me. Like I say, she can call him out. She was none the wise until them fuckers shit stirred it. So it was like he could have got away with what he done. And why can't he in Love Island? You've seen it, Dave. Whether Jackson's playing a game, and we could be completely wrong in Jackson's the ultimate fucking player. You know what I mean? Like he absolutely was just taking the piss. I don't know any of the backstory after this finished and that, but I can only go off what I saw, and he seems like a really genuine, good guy. And the way she went at him was a bit. I don't like people who fall to peer pressure. She
Hmm.
sort of because they dug him out. She could have just pulled him on the quiet, and I think she felt she had to go and then confront him. Whether it's because it's the show, and that I don't know, but I just don't like shit like that. It's like someone saying, "Do you want a cigarette?" No, don't smoke. We're smoking. All right, I better have one then. You know, like when you were a kid, I was not that guy, Dave. I never smoked at all. Me when I
Hmm.
was the only one in my class, so not making me any better than anyone else. But I just hate that sort of shit, and that's all I could see off her was like, you're quite easily led. Don't let these fucking idiots lead you down this route. If you've got something good, keep it.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I'm gonna give her a little bit of a pass tonight on it. I think just because, like I say, it was a bunch of blokes. It wasn't like she wasn't bowing to peer pressure. It wasn't like they were saying, "Go and confront him, go and confront him." And she was like, all right, go on, I'll go and lay into him." They told him something that she didn't. It wasn't very nice to hear. Now, did she take could she have taken a step back and thought like, well, actually, you know what? It's probably, we've known each other for 2 fucking days. So,
Yeah,
why would he be absolutely glowing and come out with things like, "You're the apple of my fucking eye"? So, I, I guess she was just knocked down off her perch, wasn't she? Jackson said some really nice things about her. She's feeling great. And then they tell her that, well, Jackson said yesterday, he doesn't really like you. So I think a lot of people they would go and at least have that conversation with Jackson. I agree, she probably came across a bit on the offensive, but I think she was upset. She was a bit pissed off, and like, you've got all these questions and doubts floating around, swishing around in your mind. It's like, hang about it. How can he so quickly say all these lovely things, and yet they're telling me that before, he wasn't interested because I don't have good eye contact. It was something about mannerisms or something. I couldn't quite work out what old caveman Eden was saying, but I can see why she's been wound up and went across there. What I think I appreciate is the fact that she did accept his apology. And fair play to Jackson as well. We've seen people in the villa in the past, haven't we, who just be like, nope, nope. What about Temptation Island, Chris? The guy, was it from season 1 or 2, who had the fucking threesome? And then even on the reunion is point blank defending what he'd done and saying, no, no, never slept with this girl. And the girl's like, you fucking did.
Yeah, yeah. And he was trying to blame it on her, wasn't he, for him getting these two girls in bed. I never
Yeah.
forget him. Yeah, yeah.
So no matter what was thrown at him, he was denying it. At least Jackson owned it. He did admit, and again, there's no context, is there? He could have tried to defend it a bit more, but he just kind of just owned it. And so I'm giving her a bit of a pass just because I don't have enough data points yet. I, I do think she was a bit more offensive than, just quietly going over and having a chat. But it's fucking great drama, isn't it, Chris? So I kind of like
Amazing.
that. So I tell you what, Chris, I'm more fucking team Jackson and Shelby than I am Erin and Eden.
Oh yeah, yeah. That I don't give a fuck about. I don't like what's going on there. They're a very alpha male, alpha female couple, and I
Yeah,
think it's just too much shit going on there for me. I don't like that sort of domineering bollocks. If you don't want to do something, don't do it. But Eden seems to be like that guy who, if he's happy, everyone's happy. But when he's in a bad mood, you can fucking hear him stomping and chomping
yeah.
around and not. He's just that guy. I think he's one of these ones where he'll bring you down as if around everyone around, and that's all I'm getting off him. It's all his way. Once he gets his way, then he's happy, and everyone else can do whatever they want. But it's not been a good look for him tonight at all.
And I tell you what, Chris, Josh has gone down in my estimation as well, to be honest. The fact that he's right there with Eden and Dom, it soured me on him a bit, to be honest.
Yeah,
I thought, during that conversation, he should have just taken. I'd have guessed, I would have thought and predicted that he'd have just taken himself off, just go and have a wander around the pool or something like that. But he was still there, and so he was as bad as Eden and Dom.
yeah, I agree. He's been very Switzerland, and he's been the good guy. Everyone's liked him. He's had a bit of bad luck with some of the girls, and he has been that really nice bloke. But he has just looked like a dick, and you should never go down this route. You should always know, even if he believes Jackson was in the wrong and they're in the right. If you want to be, if you're in a popularity contest like this, Dave, the best thing to do is be fucking Switzerland most of the time, because it never ends well, whether you're on one side of the fence or the other.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
yeah,
ultimately, Jackson and Shelby's relationship was fuck all to do with the three of them, And again, they're sort of pissed off that like Teddy split up Dom and Millie, and Jackson knew about it. Well, fucking whoop de doo. Like we've said, Dom has done fuck all. It's not as if he's gone in there and split up like a real fucking proper couple or something. It's just they had nothing at all, and they could be there. They could have stayed there for this 2 years, Chris, and they'd have still had nothing. So
yeah.
I just don't get any of it. But like I say, loving the drama, Chris, loving the drama, and just disappointed. We've got 7 episodes left. Oh, we've got seven. Oh, yeah, on it's 22, isn't it? We're on now.
Got eight, haven't
So
we?
yeah, we've got eight. I think it's 30, isn't it? So yeah, we've got 8 episodes left. I don't want it to go. I don't want it to finish. But I tell you
No.
what, Chris, I know I can't ask you for your predictions because you already know, but I'm quite surprised the way this has turned out. Right, if you'd have asked me, who do I think's going to the final? I think for a while I thought Eden and Erin for sure would be in the final. Still think they'll go to the final probably. Um, but I tell you what, who I've warmed to the most and properly come around on a full 180 is Grant and Taylor. And considering I'd gone from a place, I thought some of the behaviour from Grant in the first week or two, I really didn't like how he was coming across. But since then, and especially like, giving the advice to some of the other lads like Jackson and Teddy and stuff. I think he's turned me around, to be honest, on it. And again, Taylor as well. I think both of them, and Joe said it yesterday, and she, you did fuck up in that week one, but then since then, all you've done is be in love. So I think if I was to jump on any particular train right now on episode 22, it would be Grant and Taylor.
I think that's a good spot, Dave, and a good call as well. We'll just have to see. What I'm thinking is, and I'm going to give everyone pre-warning, and I know we're going to drop this on you because obviously we've not even discussed this off the podcast, but when we've watched episode 30 and the decision, whoever wins and whatever happens and that, I might do a bit of a what's happened next, like since they finished the show, because I was well in like proper deep to what was happening with these guys, and I know these all sorts of things happened to them. So if you don't mind, at the end of our last episode for this run of Love Island, I'll do we're going to spoil it. I'm going to spoil what's happened. 3, 2, 1, and then just tell you where everyone's up to because it's 2 years since this was filmed.
Well, we could do like a separate episode. It seems to be the form now, Chris, doesn't it? Everyone's got we'll do a video call. We'll have the old AirPods in. I'd have to buy some first. But that seems to be what everyone's doing now, doesn't it? A reunion. And yeah, I think that sounds like a good idea. Because and again, there's only 8 episodes left, but I'm pretty sure there's plenty of twists and turns. Because each episode seems to have plenty of twists and turns in it. So, yeah, can't wait, mate. Can't wait.
Exactly. I want to do it more for you, for the shock factor as well, for some of the stuff that's happened. So yeah, we'll keep it under my hat, David, and then we'll wait till next week to give you some info on that.
Sounds good, mate. So how can everyone get in contact with us?
Okay, guys, as always, on Twitter and Instagram, at cdrealitycast. On email, it's cdrealitycast@gmail.com. And if you do get a chance, please drop myself and Dave a review on the show. We're up there in the charts for Love Island. I think we're the only ones doing this one, Dave. But if you can get us up higher, any reviews that you can give us will just help us. So, yeah, just get over there if you can, guys. So, Dave, great episode 23. This time next week, we'll be almost finished the whole show, so that's pretty good because there's no weekend stuff, so literally be done. So Dave, there is light at the end of the tunnel, my friend. But I'm going to tell you now, there's plenty of drama, mate.
We've not had some terrible impressions for a while. Bonza.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye now.